Continuing with lesson 6 on page 154, before we go forward, let's just take a look at what we did when we did the select and mask. We made a mask on this model copy layer. You see there's a mask, and where there are black pixels, those pixels are hidden from the original layer, and where there are white pixels, those pixels show through, and gray would show through partially. I'm going to disable that mask for a minute to see what the layer really looks like. Right click and choose Disable Layer Mask. And there you can see the pixels that are there. The extra pixels on her hair came from when we did decontaminate colors. Re-enable that layer mask. Let's go forward. We're going to use quick mask mode on that same model copy layer to help us change the color of the glasses. First, we'll hide the magazine background layer to remove that distraction. Now we can see through to the transparency behind. And we'll come over here to the Edit in Quick Mask mode. Notice that the model copy layer, which is the layer we're working on, now has that reddish tint. And now when we paint, we'll be painting a mask. Black pixels will disappear, white pixels will show through. We'll use the brush tool. Make sure our mode is set to normal. And we'll get a 13 pixel 100% hardness brush. 13 pixel, bring my hardness over to 100%. I could also use my shortcut keys, Shift right bracket, to take the hardness to 100%. Definitely a good time to zoom in. I'm going to get my zoom tool, draw a marquee around those glasses. Now go back to the paintbrush tool. And now I can click and drag and paint. And I'll just paint along here and watch what happens. Where I paint will turn red. I have a kind of straight line here, so I'm going to use my paint a straight line trick. I'm going to click here and then shift click about here to paint myself a straight line. Fast way to fill that in. Now I'll paint here. And we'll switch to a smaller brush to try to get more details. I'm going to use my left bracket key to reduce the size of the brush, and again, paint up inside here. And my goal is to paint the frames, but not any part of the glass or her face. Switching to a smaller brush. And you can certainly paint with shorter strokes. You can undo, Control Z to undo your last stroke. So painting with shorter strokes will save you from having to go back and redo a lot of painting. And I'm adjusting the brush size, making it bigger when I need to and smaller when I need to. Now, if you found that you painted outside the lines, what you can do is reverse that by painting with white instead of black. So I've been painting with black. I'm going to hit the X key, which will exchange my colors. And now when I paint, I'll be painting with white and basically erasing from that selection. So if I X back to black and I paint out here like this, oops, X change colors over to white, and now I can essentially erase that black by painting over with white and exchange back to black for more painted selection. While this is far from perfect, it'll do for us for today. We're also at 345%, so small variations will not be noticeable at normal size. Let's go ahead and switch back to normal mode, and there's our selection. One important note here, this is actually not the selection, this is the inverse of the selection. If I zoom out, Control 0, and take a look, notice that there are marching ants all around. If you're zoomed in, you would not know that. You would think that you have the glasses selected. In fact, what we have is everything except the glasses selected. So what I'll do is I'll select inverse, and now I have the glasses only selected. No marching ants around the edge. So if you zoomed in, be very careful of what you have selected versus not selected. Now let's change the color of those glasses. We're going to actually change the real pixels on this model copy layer. I might have made an adjustment layer and change them that way, but we'll make a permanent change by going to Image, Adjustments, and Hue Saturation. And for hue saturation, we'll put in 70 as the hue, plus 70. Control D, and save.